Let me tell you something that will change how people treat you. The more you explain yourself, the less powerful you sound. And most people don't lose respect because they are wrong. They lose it because they talk too much, trying to be understood. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Elevate You Lifestyle. I'm Aaron Cook Nelson. Imagine this. Imagine a man who is constantly explaining himself, explaining his decisions, explaining his boundaries, explaining why he feels the way he feels, explaining why he chooses a different path. He thinks he's being clear. He thinks he's being fair. He thinks if people just understand him, everything will be smoother. But instead, people question him more, push back more, test him more, respect him less. And one day he realizes something uncomfortable. The more he explains, the less everyone listens. This is what we want to talk about today. Let's dive into it. People who respect you do not need constant explanations. And people who demand explanations usually are not looking to understand. They are looking to negotiate your boundaries. Explaining yourself too much sends a quiet message. And that quiet message is, I am not sure if I'm allowed to stand here. And then the world responds to certainty, not justification. See, clarity is attractive. Confidence is quiet, and authority does not repeat itself. When you over-explain, you invite debate. You invite people to pick apart your reasoning. You poke holes in your decisions. You reposition themselves above you. That is not communication. That's surrendering ground. Let me be clear about something. You don't owe everyone access to your reasoning. You don't owe everyone your story. You don't owe everyone emotional transparency. You don't owe everyone closure, especially people who already made up their mind. See, mature men understand this. They speak once, they act consistently, and they let time prove their position, because explanation does not create respect. Consistency does. People don't believe words, they believe patterns. That is why the strongest men are usually brief. They don't argue. They don't defend themselves endlessly. They don't chase understanding. They let alignment speak. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If someone keeps misunderstanding you, it's often intentional. Confusion becomes leverage, and in the moment you stop explaining yourself, that leverage disappears. You don't need to convince people you're serious. You need to move like you are. You don't need to explain your boundaries. You need to enforce them. You don't need to explain your growth. You need to live it. Here's what happens when you stop explaining yourself. Some people get uncomfortable. Some people push harder. Some people fall away. That's not loss. That is clarity. Because the people meant to walk with you do not need constant reassurance. They adjust. They respect the shift. They'll feel the difference. Explaining yourself is often rooted in fear. The fear of being misunderstood. The fear of conflict. The fear of being disliked. But respect does not come from being liked. It comes from being grounded. And grounding yourself means this. You say what you mean. You do what you say. And you let the rest go. No speeches, no debates, no justifications. Just alignment. And alignment is loud, without ever raising its voice. Let me leave this with you. If you feel the urge to over-explain, pause. Ask yourself, am I clarifying or am I seeking permission? Because powerful people don't ask permission to be who they are. They move with clarity. If this message resonates with you, hit that like button. And subscribe to this channel, Elevate You Lifestyle. And remember this. The people meant to walk with you do not need constant reassurance. This is Elevate You. And as always, let's elevate.